Well, on to me, enhanced geothermal systems. So this is not a replacement. We're a long-rumored geothermal show. What is it? Think it like enhanced geothermal systems. Think of it as geothermal 2.0. Instead of relying on kind of rare natural underground hot water reservoirs, EGS is the acronym. It just creates them. And that's because you drill deep into hot rock, you inject water, and you crack the rock so that water can flow through it, and then the heated water comes back up to the surface and runs the turbine to make electricity. So in other words, you're circulating water through this fractured network in hot, dry rock between an injector and a producer horizontal well. And it is moving from theory to reality. So the big sort of nameplate project that people tend to know of is Fervo Energy's Project Red in Nevada, which became the first commercial enhanced geothermal project in the U.S. It's now delivering power to the grid. How likely is it to take off? Well, reasons it could succeed include that costs could drop down to $50 per megawatt hour within the next decade, and that's going to make it competitive with other forms of clean energy like solar and wind. And perhaps the biggest asset for it, and especially with the current U.S. administration, is it really can piggyback on top of existing oil and gas drilling technology and supply chains. And by one IEA estimate, 80% of the tools and expertise overlap. And so that's causing the U.S. Department of Energy to invest heavily with big test sites like the Utah Forge site and this Fervo's Nevada project. The other thing is, because you don't need to go to where, these thermal hot springs are, in essence, there's massive geothermal energy locked in hot rock around the world. So lots of potential sites if you can reach it, and just you need to be able to drill deep enough in order to reach it. And last thing, because we care about this, surface footprints, it can have a relatively small surface footprint for the wells that you drill, but also that can be stacked. So the land impact is minimal compared to, say, having a big solar farm or having a big wind farm. Knocks against it, reasons why it could struggle. It's expensive and financially risking on the drilling side. And that is because drilling a single well, deep well, can cost, 10 to 15 million in drilling costs alone. And there's no guarantee that you're going to hit the right rock. You can hit a dry hole and that can wipe out your investment. There's some microseismic concerns as well. You're fracturing rock as you're doing with horizontal drilling and for unconventional oil and gas. That can trigger small seismic events, small quakes, and that can lead to community pushback and big upfront costs and long lead time technology that can make investors nervous. But if you can figure all that out, if you scale it, you've got reliable, clean power. And unlike solar and wind, intermittent renewables, it will run around the clock. It's got a much broader reach because with this drilling technology, you can go to anywhere where there's hot rock and you can build it, not just in places like Iceland and California. And if those costs do fall and the project scale, then by some estimates, you could supply, say, 8 to 20% of U.S. electricity by 2050. And that would make it one of the few firm, always available clean energy options capable really of replacing fossil fuel baseload plants. David, Sarah, what do you think?
I'm super excited about this one. My pet peeve is that renewables are variable, not intermittent. All power sources are intermittent.
I know. I can never remember if it's variable or intermittent. I always get the name wrong.
Gotta correct you on that one. But no, I'm really excited about this one. As you say, I think it's a perfect match to renewables like wind and solar. And the fact that some of the testing from Forge and others showing that you can actually operate it in a dispatchable way is super exciting, where you basically stop the flow when you don't want it. When I think about like this kind of thing, I always like to ask what's changed, right? Because people have been trying to do geothermal for a long time. And I think, as you pointed out, there's some key things, right? So there was a ton of learning on the horizontal drilling and fracturing that came from the shale industry. And then I'm not a geologist, but I work in a department with lots of geologists, and they tell me that there have been some real advances in the drilling, which is a big challenge here of just how fast you can drill into this rock rocks that you need to drill quite low down to get into. And so it does seem like we're reaching kind of a critical point on being able to combine that with the fracturing, the better drilling, and then also with the need for this kind of dispatchable power to integrate more renewables. Because again, until recently, you would, if you want more renewables, I would have said just build some more wind and solar. That would be cheaper than the geothermal. But now you're getting to the point where, you want to start to replace some of those dispatchable fossil plants as well too. So I'm super gung-ho on this one.
Yeah, I think my sense is we just don't know. I think there truly have been these big improvements in drilling, and there's prospects of really new drilling technology. People are trying quite different things, microwaves and other drilling that could drill into crystalline basement rock. But we don't know how it'll play out. I feel like I've got big uncertainty bands around it. I can imagine it being quite important, but until we've really done enough of those projects and we see the prices, we don't know.
Yeah, I think the next 5 years are key. I mean, we'll see what happens with drilling costs and whether these big demonstrations can actually deliver on what they promised.
And if Sarah had a pet peeve, I have one. It's not renewable.
It's not renewable. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you're basically it's heat mining, it's not renewable.
There's a deep debate about that, though. Is the heat in the earth being renewed through its processes?
Well, yeah,
or
the
is
heat
it
in the
renewable?
earth comes from radon and uranium decay, but that's a slower process. So I think it doesn't matter, but it's not clear. Traditionally, it's been unclear whether it should be classed as renewable.
No, there's a whole debate there, though, right? Same with our sun, right? Technically, that's going to run out one day too.
That's true.